You're on the road with Noble Outfitters, and this week we're in Turlock, California at Turlock Feed and Livestock Supply. Near and dear to my heart here in Turlock, California. I was born and raised and still live in Modesto, California, about 10 miles from here. You're going to meet the Llewellyn family. It's a family operation that they took over not too many years ago from a business that was in Turlock, California for over 100 years. Come on in and take a look. You're going to be happy what you see, and you're going to meet some fun people.
In the mid-1800s, America was pushing west and expanding at a rate unknown to any previous civilization. Americans pursued their dreams and unlimited opportunity, but they needed food, equipment, seeds, and tack to press on beyond the established cities and towns already settled. Out of this demand, a new retailer was born, the General Store, who handled everything a westward family would need to survive. Today, these retailers provide rural Americans the same materials, service, and expertise that made them invaluable over 150 years ago. Join Noble Outfitters as we rediscover the retailing backbone of America. Hear their story in their own words, how they've not only survived, but actually thrived in the modern world. Come along as we go on the road with Noble Outfitters.
You're on the road with Noble Outfitters, and today we're in Turlock, California at Turlock Feed and Livestock Supply. This is a family operation. I'm going to introduce you to the entire family. We have Mary and Dave Llewellyn, Tori and Jacob, and Brianna Llewellyn. And what's his name?
That's Diesel.
That's Diesel. All right. Thank you, folks, for your hospitality today.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you very much. Thank you for your business and your support of Noble Outfitters. Diesel, you like Noble Outfitters? You got to make something for dogs. You know, for me, I was born and raised here just about 10 miles down the road, Modesto, California. And California, I think, is interesting. Is we go all over the country and we do shows about your type of store. Your type of store is an American traditional, like farm and feed, mercantile, right? I mean, the group of products that you have here is strange to any other retail market. You know, you got picture frames, toys, dog leashes, farm feed, clothing, boots, you know, whatever. And it's what has made that kind of retail in America for centuries. Interesting story a little bit about you guys is you're a policeman, from what I understand.
Yes.
So how did all this get started for you to be in this business and you to be a public safety person?
We actually lived in Florida before here, and she was a GM for a large feed store, I guess you would call it.
So you had the background of being a little bit in the feed business.
I worked there. I loaded hay in the warehouse.
Is that where you guys met?
No, I actually met in high school.
Okay, that's great. High school sweetheart. I love it.
So we were really interested in it then. She loved it probably a lot more than I did at the time because I just had to load hay all day. Moved out to California, and this was the feed store that we shopped at for several years, 12, 13 years. And then one day we were getting hay at the old location, and she came out and said, hey, the owner just said he's selling. And it went from there.
That's great. Well, and it's a family affair now, right? Everybody's working. And how old are you? How old are the twins? 14. Are you guys the same age?
Yes.
Who's older? Somebody's got to be older by a minute or so.
12 minutes.
12 minutes? Well, you're kind of slow getting out of there. What's going on? And how about big sis?
19.
19. Great. You enjoy working in the family business? One of the things that I think is interesting, and you folks coming out from Florida is interesting, that I think a lot of people that have never really been out west, all the way out to California, really don't know what California is all about. If you think about it, when you guys were coming out, and I don't know what you thought, but a lot of people that I talk to on the East Coast, they go, oh, California, oh, Napa, you know, winery, you know, yeah, we have wines, we have Napa, you know, we have all those things, but really it's kind of like two states. You know, we've got Southern California that's really like a business mecca with tens of millions of people. LA Basin is like a country of its own. I mean, it's like, I think it's like I think it's about like the 5th largest economy in the world, just the LA basin. You know, it's crazy. And then when you look at Northern California, complete different part of the state, where you've got the Sierras going up through the edge of the state on the Nevada border, the beautiful trees and mountains, Yosemite Valley. And you've got the coast, you've got Monterey and the Monterey Peninsula and up into Napa. And then the entire Central Valley, which is where we live in the middle of the state, it is basically one big farm from the Oregon border all the way down to the Tehachapis, and over the Tehachapis you go into LA. And you get up in a plane, and that is all you see is squares, cities. You know, you got Sacramento and Fresno and Merced and Modesto, but basically it is just one big farm. So this is a great place to have a farm and feed supply. But you know, in our area, I don't think people realize there's microcosms of climate here in the Central Valley, where we're the almond capital of the world. You know, walnuts, peaches, apricots. The Gallo wine is here, right here in Modesto, California, and it's by far the largest winery in the world. You've got the Napa region, which is, you know, one of the best microclimates for wine in the entire world. Then the Monterey Salinas area, you've got the area over there where it never gets over like 65, 70 degrees, and it's hovered right around that ocean. So they grow, I think, about 80% of the lettuce and the fine greens for the whole country. Every day there's, you know, hundreds of rail cars that go out packed with lettuce and fine greens, you know, parsley and all these beautiful, delicate products. Where in the valley it's hotter, so we grow tomatoes and peaches and pretty much everything. So it's a wonderful area for us to have grown up in and see, you know, this type of activity, and really a great activity for kids to be brought up into, where there's so much work and ability to work and get out and be in the farm. And you know, California is called the Golden State. I got a little trivia for you. Do you know why California is called the Golden State? Not because they discovered gold here. It's called the Golden State because in the day when the settlers were coming over, there was nothing but golden rolling hills of grass, dry as a bone. And so it was called the Golden State because it was dry, and the dry grass was all over. So like if you go over the Altamont, you know, it gets green a little bit during the spring, but right after that it's brown, and the whole mountainside's brown. And so that's why it was called the Golden State, because there's not that much water here, but we have this lush agricultural area. And it's because of irrigation. You know, it's because of that technology that they learned how to, you know, create those dams. And actually those dams are beautiful recreation areas too. Well, it's really fun to be here today with you guys. We appreciate the hospitality and appreciate what you do for us. You know, our goal in business is as a family, we do the same thing as you guys do. We try to take care of our customer. I see you guys wearing our boots, and you put these on, and the day you put them on, they're going to be comfortable. They're going to be lightweight. You don't have to break them in. And that's actually one of the interesting things about our company, is we're constantly trying to look for how can we create a better product. You know, it's in this area, we're talking earlier about the dairy industry in this area. The dairy industry uses a tremendous amount of rubber boots. And we make a rubber boot that just kind of feels like slippers. I mean, they're just very, very comfortable, and they're easy to wear, and easy to wear all day. So we did the same thing with the Western boots after we made the muds, we call them, which you guys sell a ton of. Then the Western riders were telling us, hey, well, could you make a really comfortable boot for us? And so that's when we came up with the all-around boot. So actually our advertising is you could play soccer or baseball or go running in them. I played golf in mine the other day, and it was kind of, I forgot my golf shoes, so I ended up wearing them at a golf tournament, and it was great. You know, I wore them all day, and they worked fine.
I've always been a lace-up guy, and our rep Ashley forced me to put a pair on when we first started carrying the brand, and I haven't taken them off since.
That's great.
Love them.
That's great. Well, we appreciate the support. We appreciate what you guys are doing as a family, and God bless you and good luck in the future, and just keep it going. And probably Big Sis will just take over one of these days.
all-around work boot for the country's best athletes.
Yeah, you know, when you guys purchased Turlock Feed, you know, when you think about it, Turlock Feed wasn't, you know, a brand new store when you purchased it. You know, it'd been in business since the early 1900s. So they were servicing that customer and taking care of them just like you guys do here. So I think that it's a fun thing for you to be able to carry on that tradition and the tradition of what these old farm feed, mercantile, general stores did around the country. You definitely have to understand your customer and take care of your customer, but you've got knowledge to do that. So.
Yes, one thing we bring is knowledge. We can answer a question for you. If not, we will find the answer, as opposed to, you know, go to a certain aisle and pick up a product. And that's one thing we strive on.
I think that's a little bit different too than some of the larger box stores. You know, you'd find employees that are working in some of these stores. I mean, they're not quite sure exactly what a certain feed is for a certain animal. You know, that's not what they were hired for. They're just there to stock the shelf or do whatever. So yeah, it's a little bit different when you have that close contact with your customer and you understand what it is that they do.
Right, and we're not just going to sell them a bag of feed because it's a certain price line. We sell them what they need to fix their issue or to feed their animal, because that's the type of feed that they need. Even if it's a lower dollar feed, it doesn't matter to us. Right. We want to make sure their animals are taken care of.
You know, and in this world today, it's interesting about internet sales, right? I mean, you guys are the new generation, and you know, shopping online and just click, 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 and here you go. You know, you have something. So you guys are signing up for you know, our program that we put together on the Amazon.com program. So basically, you know, you can go to Amazon.com and look up Turlock Feed and buy product right off of the internet. And that's a great thing too for people that, you know, we're in rural areas. So you've got customers that are driving in from, you know, an hour, 45 minutes, sometimes an hour and a half away up in the mountains. And, you know, for them to be able to order online and be able to get the product, that's just something that's new for this world today. So it's great that you're taking advantage of that. And we like being a part of that and being able to help our customers with those things. So that's a great new addition to being able to do business today.
Yeah, that's the times.
Absolutely. Coming up next on the Noble Recipe of the Week, we're gonna do a double for you here this week. We've got a wonderful entree and two desserts made by two wonderful people here in the Central Valley of California. So stay tuned. We'll be right back, and you're going to get 2 for 1 today on the Recipe of the Week. You're on the road with Noble Outfitters, and this week's Recipe of the Week is going to be a lot of fun for me. It happens to be part of my heritage as well. I was born and raised in the Central Valley of California, and there's a huge Portuguese contingency here in the Central Valley. Many Portuguese people came over from the Azore Islands and settled in the west part of the Central Valley, mainly because of the dairy industry. They were dairymen, and that's what they came here for. So I grew up on this beautiful dish that is a traditional Portuguese dish called sopas, okay? And I have a very good pleasure of explaining to you a little bit about this dish and the people that made it. Teresa Correa and her daughter Janice Correa, thank you for joining me here today. And you know, basically, this is what, as a chef, you know, we would call a peasant meal, right? This is peasant food. This is food that is very simple but incredibly delicious. How many years you've been cooking this dish?
A long time.
Many years.
Yeah.
And your mother before you, and your grandmother before you, and your great-grandmother before you. So basically you have beef that is cooked in a pot, all cuts of beef, and then a group of seasoning. I can tell you, you're gonna get the recipe. You know that we have all of our recipes. Go to nobleoutfitters.com/RFDTV. You can get all of our recipes online. This one, you're gonna wanna try to make for your family. It's an amazing, unique dish that tastes incredible. And every year in the summer, there's different festivals all up and down the valley. And every Sunday, each city has their own little festa. And basically, they cook the exact same meal at every festa, okay? And we go and we appreciate the harvest and our good fortune, and we're able to have this beautiful dish. So basically, it's very simple. You have some beautiful bread, and you take the sopas, you take the meat and the juice, you put it on top. Oh my gosh, this is, for me, being born and raised here, this is heaven in a bowl for me. And I cannot tell you how delicious and wonderful this is. And then we also have another little treat, and we have some traditional rice pudding as well. And this is a normal, dessert to be having. And we're also going to show you a little bit about a fresh pie coming from this area as well. Oh my gosh. The flavor, me and my brothers and our family, when we go to the festa, we eat so much because everybody eats for free. And you just keep bringing out buckets and buckets of food. We make ourselves sick eating this stuff every Sunday when we go around. So thank you very much for taking the time to create this. And tell me a little bit about your family and where in the islands that your family originated from.
Teixeira.
So they come.
Teixeira Island.
Teixeira, Teixeira is the
Teixeira.
town is where they're from, and so their family enjoyed doing things like this and providing meals for their family and friends and just.
And you were born in the Azores Islands, and you were born here.
Yes.
So you're actually first generation born in the U.S.
Yes.
Yeah, for me, I'm second. My father was born here. My grandfather came from the island of St. George, all in the Azores. Many, many people came from there, from here. And my great-grandfather came here to work in the gold mines in the beginning. And then he was successful, and he brought my grandfather out, and they started a dairy, and they had dairy cows, all during their career and their life, and they had many kids in their family. How many children in your family?
4.
4, and my family, they had 10, which was normal at that time for them to have so many kids because they had kids and they worked on the farm, and it was like they created their own employment, Well, that's wonderful. Well, God bless you, and thank you for preparing this for us today. You'll get the recipe. Go to nobleoutfitters.com/RFDTV and get this wonderful recipe and try it out at home. Your family will absolutely love it. As we mentioned, we got a double-header recipe this week. We got Bambi Porter with us. Hello, Bambi.
Hey, Dan.
How are you?
I'm excellent, sir.
I understand you have a company or a program called Gypsy Cowgirl.
Right?
But today, you brought us a beautiful berry pie, I see.
I did.
And,
a blueberry
and tell me
pie.
a little bit about this blueberry pie.
Okay, so these blueberries were actually picked just right down the road, and I canned them over the summer so that way when it was time to make a fabulous pie at the fall time or into the winter time, that I would have some really great, locally grown food in my cabinet. In this case, I've had some blueberry pie filling made, and I fixed up a pie for you. What do you think?
It's great, and I can tell you what, that crust is amazing. Do we get the
Thank
recipe of that
you.
crust?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Because we love to share the recipes with our viewers. They can go to nobleoutfitters.com/RFDTV, and they can see all of our recipes, because that crust is amazing. That's
Thank you.
one of the biggest things with the crust.
Right.
But tell me a little bit about your website,
Okay.
so that the people can go to your website and learn a little bit about how to put up product and can it, so they can have nice stuff through the winter.
Awesome. So I am a master food preserver, so I do know how to do these things in a fashion that is going to be correct. You can go to gypsycowgirlkitchen.com and you can sign up for a class there. I post recipes and directions on how to can your own blueberry pie filling, which the recipe is on the website, along with many others. And it's just a really great way to be able to support our farmers here locally and eat fresh food all year long.
And when we're talking about this, we're talking about this before there were freezers and
Right.
refrigerators. In the old days, this is how they preserved their product, so they could survive throughout the winter because they weren't having harvest all year long.
That's right.
So it's a great old tradition, that we have here in the Valley, and I think more people out there can take advantage of doing this during the season. And by going to your website, they can learn how to do it and check that out. Hey, great having you here today.
Always a pleasure to see you,
Thank you
Dan.
very much for the information, and I think it's great that you all can go to the website and learn a little bit more how you can put up some product during the harvest and have it all year long. People are looking for local food, fresh food, you know, just organic food. There's so many things you can do that you can do for yourself and kind of have fun and create that family tradition at home of making food products the old-fashioned way. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. We're going to have the Noble Child of the Week today, and we're going to show you how quickly this girl can rope a calf. Stay tuned. You're on the road with Noble Outfitters, and this week we're in Turlock, California at Turlock Feed and Livestock Supply. We have with us today on the Noble Child tomorrow, Whitley Burgess, and Whitley is a roper extraordinaire. How are you today, sweetheart?
Good, how are you?
I like your Noble Outfitters roping glove there. You gonna do some roping for me?
Yes, sir.
Tell me a little bit about, first of all, when did you start roping?
I started roping when I was about 3. My dad started me roping a dummy, and I started roping off a horse when I was about 4 or 5.
At 3 years old, you started throwing a rope. I love it. I love it. And so, 5 years old, or 5 or 6, you start getting on the horse and doing it.
Yeah, roping live cattle.
And how old are you today, sweetheart?
I'm 13.
13. You know, along with roping, which sounds fun, and you know, you're gonna do some roping or whatever, but you've got a horse, right?
Yes, sir.
What's your horse's name?
Well, I got a few. My number 1, her name's Foxy.
Foxy.
Yes, sir.
And along with having horses, and along with having steers, and along with having animals, you've got to do a lot of work around the house.
Yes, sir.
And I want you to tell me a little bit about your schedule. So you go to school, and how do you keep up with everything?
Well, actually, I'm homeschooled, so I wake up in the morning, I feed, I do some of my homework, and I start roping, and then I exercise my barrel horse, and it's pretty much how it is. I ride colts all day.
So you're busy.
Yes, sir.
I like that, and I like for you to be working and keep working. What do you think you're going to do when you get older?
Well, when I get older, I want to be a horse trainer.
A horse trainer?
Yeah, and I want to be able to go to the PRCA finals.
Okay. Well, looks like you've been to the National Junior High Rodeo Finals already.
Yep.
And you went last year?
I went last year, well, this year and last year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great. Well, you're doing great. Keep doing great. Keep working hard. Stay in school, save your money, and you could become whatever you want to become. And I appreciate you going out there and working hard. You know, I want to give you a gift. I want you to create a savings account, and hopefully maybe you already have one, but I want you to remember me, and I want you to remember how important it is to work hard and keep your goals in mind, stay out of trouble, and do a good job. So I want you to put this $100 bill in the bank.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome, sweetheart. And we're gonna want to show these folks a little bit how good you are at roping real quick. You mind showing us?
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna stand back. Don't rope me.
Okay.
That's not. That'd be like for me flipping pancakes. You know, that's
Yeah.
easy for you. Wonderful. Do it again. That's great. Good job. Good job. Do I look like a cowpoke? Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a city slicker. Thank you, sweetheart.
Yep.
Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Stay doing a good job. That's not. We've had a great time in Turlock, California at Turlock Feed and Livestock Supply. We want to thank these folks for their wonderful hospitality. If you're ever near Turlock, California, come and say hello to these wonderful people. A great family, a great store, and you never know where we're going to be next. So tune in next week when you're on the road with Noble Outfitters. Bye from Turlock, California. You're on the road with Noble Outfitters, and this week we're in Turlock, California. Place near and dear to my heart. I live about 10 miles from here in Modesto, California. And we are at Turlock Feed and Livestock Supply. You're gonna meet the Llewellyn family. It's a family operation in the old traditional of farm and feed. Turlock Feed and Livestock Supply.